Inside an empty classroom, a student named Yoji enters with a look of slight confusion. He identifies himself as being from Class 1-2, but he wonders why he has been called to this specific location at this time. His confusion is quickly met by a voice belonging to a girl named Kanan. She thanks him for coming and explains that she has been waiting for him, claiming that she called out to his very soul. With a cold and determined air, she informs him that she has decided to devour him. Kanan reveals her true nature, undergoing a transformation that causes dark horns to sprout from her head and a slender tail to emerge. She introduces herself as Kanan the Gourmet, the daughter of Beelzebub, the archdevil of gluttony. She commands him to prepare himself, referring to him as a lower life form that she intends to eat. The story shifts back in time to the underworld, where Kanan is speaking with her father, Beelzebub. He is a massive, doting figure who offers her a seat and food, but Kanan declines. She admits that she has lost her appetite because nothing in their world tastes good to her anymore. Concerned for her health, her father asks what she plans to do. Kanan reveals her desire to travel to the human world to personally cultivate and savor the sweet souls of young humans who are on the verge of reaching maturity. Her father finds the idea lovely, reminiscing about his own trips to the human world, even though they cause trouble with the angels. He grants her request, but asks if she has eaten with anyone lately. Kanan scoffs at the idea, insisting that fine dining is a solitary experience and that she prefers to avoid extra noise. Her father simply hopes she finds the satisfaction she is looking for. In the human world, Kanan has successfully integrated into school life. She narrates her success, explaining how she has crafted the perfect facade. She is beautiful, smart, talented, and athletically gifted. By playing the role of a model student, she has gained the trust of everyone and has even become the head of the disciplinary committee. She views the academy as her personal ranch and the students as her livestock, waiting for their souls to mature so she can feed. However, her hunger becomes too much to bear. Though she wanted to wait longer, she decides she can afford to eat one soul now. She scans the student body, looking for the right target, until she spots Yoji. His soul shines with a brilliant sheen and vitality that catches her eye immediately. She uses her telepathic powers to hypnotize him, commanding the human to come to her. Back in the empty classroom, Yoji repeats Kanan's words, asking if she is really going to devour him. Kanan, still thinking in terms of predatory dining, describes the process. She tells him she will peel back his skin and work it with her fingers until it is firm and juicy. Yoji's eyes go wide as he interprets her words in a completely sexual manner. When she mentions enjoying a taste while it is raw, Yoji assumes she is talking about raw dogging. Kanan tells him to be honored and grateful for being devoured by her. To her absolute shock, Yoji prostrates himself on the floor, thanking her and saying that nothing would make him happier. He explains that it has always been his dream to be devoured by a devilish girl like her, and he adds that her devil costume looks like something meant for a specific kind of role play. Kanan is horrified, realizing that high school boys think of nothing but sex. She wonders how her food could possibly think it can have a physical relationship with her. However, a tactical thought crosses her mind. She thinks she can use this to her advantage and steal his soul during the act. The only obstacle is that she is a complete virgin and has no idea what she is doing. Yoji is eager to begin, but Kanan panics and tells him to wait. She tries to argue that such things should only be done between people who love each other. Yoji immediately counters by saying he fell in love with her the moment he saw her. Kanan is overwhelmed by his persistence. She realizes that despite being thousands of years old, she has never even held hands with anyone. Looking at him closely, she even finds him to be her type. Yoji repeatedly professes his love, making Kanan's head spin. She tries to maintain her dignity as a devil, questioning if she should really let a lower life form be her first love. Seeing her hesitation, Yoji says he doesn't want to hurt her and suggests they try third base or second base instead. Kanan reacts with disgust, calling him a pervert. Finally, Yoji asks if they can just start by dating. Kanan agrees, thinking this is a safe compromise. Yoji is thrilled and says he will see her the next day, leaving Kanan to wonder what kind of bizarre contract she has just signed. After class, a girl named Nadeko approaches Yoji. She asks if he is free to help clean her family's shrine over the weekend. Yoji turns her down, saying he will likely be busy. She is shocked when Yoji reveals that he can't help because he now has a girlfriend. Nadeko is stunned that the quiet student managed to land an older woman. She asks what their pet names are and if they are on a first-name basis yet. In her own classroom, Kanan is looking down on the students, thinking they are all just livestock being fattened for slaughter. Her thoughts are interrupted when Yoji appears, She is startled by his sudden arrival and asks him to stop sneaking up on her. Yoji tells her that he wants her to call him by his first name. He argues that since they are dating, they shouldn't be using last names and formal titles like senpai. Kanan sees this as an opportunity to assert her dominance. She thinks he looks cute being so desperate over something as simple as a name. She tells him to listen closely and be grateful, but when she tries to say Yoji, she stumbles over the syllables. She realizes she is actually embarrassed to say it. Internally, she yells his name repeatedly to build up her courage, but when she tries to speak, she can only stammer. Yoji asks if she is embarrassed, and Kanan defensively denies it. She tells him that if he wants her to say it so badly, he has to say her name first. Yoji says Kanan without hesitation. The sound of her name sends a surge of bliss through her. Yoji gets close to her ear and repeats her name over and over. Kanan eventually slaps him for getting too carried away, calling him a brute. As she leaves, she calls him Yoji-kun and tells him he will pay for this. Later, Kanan catches a couple at school and orders them to step away from each other, citing the rules against illicit conduct. She thinks humans are just animals ruled by desire and vows to keep them on a tight leash to keep their souls pure. Yoji appears behind her again, startling her. He tells her that he wants to spend as much time as possible with her because they are lovers. He asks her where they should go to make their first time unforgettable. Kanan immediately thinks he is talking about sex and calls him a horny ape with no sense of decorum. Yoji suggests the park, which makes Kanan think of outdoor activities. When he says it would be great to relive the memory every time he passes by, Kanan rejects the idea as too embarrassing. He then suggests a movie theater or a hot spring trip, which only makes Kanan think he wants to have sex in public or share a bath. She yells at him, telling him that their first time should be in the privacy of a bedroom. Yoji takes a note, saying they will do it in his room. Kanan realizes what she said and tries to backpedal, saying she will only visit if his parents are home. Yoji tells her that fulfilling her wishes makes him excited for their first date. Kanan realizes she misunderstood him again and runs away in embarrassment. Later, Kanan is watching the students from her window, telling them to dream of being eaten by her. Yoji shows up and asks to walk home together because he is her boyfriend. Kanan tries to keep her heart from racing. She decides to put him in his place and agrees to walk with him. However, as they start walking, she stays several paces behind. Yoji asks why she won't walk beside him. Kanan claims she is using him as a meat shield in case of an assassination attempt. Yoji suggests they should walk even closer and join hands. Kanan panics, thinking that holding hands might lead to pregnancy. She is convinced he is a devil for coming up with such a scheme. Not wanting to appear indecisive, she comes up with a solution. When they walk through the street, people are shocked to see Yoji's hands tied up with a rope that Kanan holds like a leash. She tells him that their hands are now joined as he requested. Yoji tells her it feels like the best thing ever, interpreting the bondage as a sign of her intense desire to control him. Kanan realizes she has accidentally awakened a new side of him and runs away again. She is frustrated that Yoji keeps throwing her off her game. She wonders why she can still hear his voice in her head, only to realize he is actually lying down right behind her. He is scuffed up from being dragged around, but he tells her he has never had such an intense walk. He admits he has awakened to the joy of being a pet, which Kanan tells him to stop doing. Yoji asks if they can do something together in the park. Kanan expects something perverted, but they end up sitting on a bench eating croquettes from a local butcher shop. Yoji explains that he always wanted to eat snacks with his girlfriend. Kanan is surprised by the simple request. Yoji becomes incredibly passionate, explaining that he analyzed the croquettes and discovered they are made according to the golden ratio. He goes on a long rant about the potato-to-meat ratio and the golden breading. Kanan laughs, finding his passion for a simple snack to be cute. She realizes he isn't just a pervert. As she takes a bite, she is surprised to find that the food actually has flavor. She realizes that eating together might be why it tastes so good. When Yoji tells her how cute she looks while eating, Kanan gets embarrassed and calls him a lower life form once again. Deep within the devil realm, Kanan's father sits at a table piled high with food, his massive appetite never quite satisfied. Between bites, he expresses his deep concern for his daughter, wondering if she is managing well among the humans. He worries that she might accidentally eat something strange that would upset her stomach, though his paternal anxiety does not stop him from continuing his own feast. His loyal servant, Amy, notices his distress and offers to help. She promises to travel to the human world and serve Kanan with total devotion. The Devil King is relieved, trusting the delinquent-looking maid to put his mind at ease. For Kanan, the day begins long before the sun is high. To maintain her cover as a perfect human, she has infiltrated a normal family and lives as their eldest daughter. She introduces her parents and her little brother, Shotaro, all of whom greet her with genuine warmth. This domestic bliss is entirely manufactured. Kanan explains that she keeps them under a constant state of hypnosis. She repeatedly tells them that she is the eldest daughter, rewriting their memories so they believe she has always been there. Even as she enjoys the feeling of corrupting something as pure as a human family, the magic is not permanent. During breakfast, the father and mother suddenly blink, momentarily confused about when they ever had a daughter or why there is a strange girl in their house. Kanan quickly reapplies the brainwashing, staring them down until they return to their cheerful, mindless state. Once her ranch is secure, she heads out to school, feeling smug about how easily she can toy with the humans, even if a certain lower life form has been making things difficult lately. As Kanan walks to school, she begins to narrate her life as if she is being filmed for a documentary, explaining that humans are nothing more than food to her. She is startled when Yoji suddenly appears at her side. He casually claims that since he is her boyfriend, it is only natural for them to walk to school together. Kanan is flustered and demands to know how he found her secret home address. Yoji reveals that he simply asked their homeroom teacher, who was so excited by the prospect of a teenage confession that she leaked Kanan's personal information without a second thought. Determined to prove her superiority, Kanan challenges Yoji to keep up with her and takes off at a supernatural speed. She is confident that her devilish physical potential will leave any human in the dust. However, she soon hits a wall. She realizes that while she is powerful, her stamina is incredibly low. Yoji catches up to her effortlessly as she gasps for air. He tries to comfort her, but Kanan stubbornly insists she isn't tired. The tension between the two is interrupted when Amy suddenly appears on the street. Kanan is horrified, knowing that her childhood friend is a predatory succubus who loves to cause drama. She drags Amy away to a private spot, but Yoji follows them. Kanan reluctantly introduces Amy as her family's maid, but she warns Yoji to stay far away from her. Amy is immediately impressed by Yoji's soul, calling it high-quality stuff and expressing a desire to have a taste. Kanan fiercely declares that Yoji is off-limits because he is her boyfriend. Amy is shocked to learn that the thousands-year-old virgin devil finally has a partner. She begins to tease Kanan, asking how far they have gone in their relationship. Kanan shyly mentions eating croquettes and using first names, which makes Amy laugh at how childish and slow she is being. Amy suggests that Kanan should just use her body to win him over, or else Amy will take him for herself. Yoji firmly rejects Amy's advances, stating that Kanan is the only girl for him. While Kanan is happy to hear this, she still becomes jealous when Amy hugs Yoji to mock-seek protection from Kanan's anger. The next day at school, Kanan discovers a trail of collapsed students lying in the hallways with blissfully happy expressions on their faces. She follows the carnage to the home economics room and finds Amy about to kiss a female teacher. The teacher runs away in a panic, and Kanan scolds Amy for tainting the soul she was trying to raise so carefully on her farm. Amy defends herself by saying she only goes after people she finds attractive, but Kanan points out that Amy seems to find everyone attractive. Whether it is a kind old man, a girl who shares cookies, a soft-hearted student, or a delinquent who loves romance manga, Amy only sees the good in people. Kanan realizes that Amy's popularity comes from this genuine, if sloppy, love for humanity. She feels a small sting of jealousy, but warns Amy to stop messing with the students. When Kanan asks if Amy finds Yoji attractive, Amy keeps it a secret to tease her, leaving Kanan to imagine the worst. Worried that Amy will steal her boyfriend, Kanan forces Yoji to join her on a disciplinary patrol. She claims she wants him to help her catch students who are acting inappropriately, but she really just wants to keep him under her thumb. As they walk, a girl falls nearby, and Yoji immediately helps her up and offers to carry her papers. The girl is instantly smitten. Kanan quickly steps in and tells the girl they are busy, shooing her away. This pattern repeats throughout the day. Every time a girl bumps into Yoji or needs help, he is polite and charming, and the girls fall for him on the spot. He even approaches a girl named Baraka to tell her she has something on her head, which she finds fascinating. Kanan begins to spiral, wondering if Yoji is some kind of harem protagonist. She demands to know if he understands who he belongs to, and he calmly reminds her that he is her boyfriend. Her jealousy reaches a breaking point when Yoji gets a text from his childhood friend, Nadeko. The messages use his first name and invite him over for homemade stew. Kanan is outraged, telling him not to let himself be tamed by another girl's food. She remains grumpy as they walk home together, insisting she isn't mad even though she is clearly fuming. Yoji tells her she is cute when she is jealous, which she loudly denies. To her surprise, Yoji reaches out and begins to pat her head and rub under her chin, treating her exactly like a pampered pet. Kanan feels her anger melting away as a fuzzy, blissful feeling takes over her mind. She wonders if he is using magic on her, but she finds herself unable to resist the affection. From a distance, Amy watches the scene with a smirk. She knows that if the Devil King finds out about this, there will be trouble. But for now, she decides to root for Kanan while continuing to cause her own brand of chaos in the school.